Imagine one of your mates is saying, "Dad, I want to get into sales. I want to earn money and commission." What advice would you give to them if they have no experience?
I think as well, so when I first started and I didn't really want to get on the phones initially, the reason was I thought I wasn't quite the level of the people that I was reaching out to and wanted to speak with. So I had to just say to myself, look, they're people. They're just like you. You don't have to worry about that. And then just pick up the phone and dial and speak to them like they're a normal person. You don't have to be on the back foot or anything like that. So that's a big one for me.
So, like you're saying, like when you was calling these people, you felt that you wasn't on the same level of them, but
Yeah. Yeah, because when I first, so before this job, when I was looking, myself to break into to sort of be an SDR, I was reaching out to CEOs. I managed to find some like CEO's number and email, and I sent them this big email. Maybe it was it was too much, and then gave them a call. And it was just thinking, don't be nervous about it. Just do it. Just call them up and see, what's going on. What's the lay of the land. You don't have to overthink it.
you're right, because I think a lot of SDRs and salespeople I've met, when they see the word CEO or they see a title, they automatically put them on this plinth up here. And I'm just an SDR. But to your point, they're just people. They may have families, they go home, they have dinner and stuff like that. And I used to say, like, look, if you bombed on a cold call and you made a dog's dinner of it, they're not going to go home and say, yeah, do you know what? I got called by this SDR. They said they're probably going to forget that. And to your point, they're people just like people. And I'll show a quick example of sending that message. Can you guys see my screen? So this is a guy called Pete Tomlinson, lovely CEO of a company called Windsor Telecom. Me and Pete are quite tight now, but when I was a brand new SDR, do you want to see the type of message that I used to send? Look at that. Disgusting, isn't it? Look at that long ass email. And I used to think that was the best way to connect with the CEO. It had to be prim, proper, and polished. But here's a funny thing. A couple of years later, when I was a founder of my company, I just sent him a message. Hi, Pete. How you been? How's your week? Kind regards, Neil. Get straight back to me, goes into it, talking. So I kind of learned they're people just like you and me, and it doesn't have to be prim and proper and polished, right? But cool, awesome tips, Dan. Thank you very much. Nimco, what tip would you give to somebody that's looking to break into tech, they got no experience and they just don't know where to start? What would you say to them?
I would say just be yourself because a couple of years ago when I had my first job, I never had a job in tech or like sales or anything like that. So it was really new to me. Um, and I remember the last stage of the interview was of like the CEO and the directors, and I was like so nervous, but I was just literally just myself. So I just think just be yourself, and yeah, I was just literally laughing. I assumed I wasn't even gonna get the job, but they gave me the job. So yeah, like if I do look for like a different job, like now I just approach it as like if we're a fit, like I don't need to change myself to, have this job. Like if we get along, we're gonna get along. Because even if you have the job, like I don't wanna like have a manager that I'm not gonna really resonate with or like he doesn't get my banter. So yeah, I just say just be yourself. Don't change who you are.
I love that. Be yourself. And you raised a really interesting point to see if we're a fit. I think a lot of the times when people go for interviews, it's they want to impress the other person on the other end of the Zoom or in the office, but you're also trying to figure out, are they a fit for you? Can you see yourself being happy working with those people, the culture, their processes? I've taken a lot of jobs where I'm like, why the hell am I here? I don't like these people. And it can make you really miserable as well. So I think doing your due diligence, being yourself, but talking to other people in the company and getting a vibe check. So, like a couple of tips before I went into any company, I'd always go on Glassdoor and I'd look at the reviews of what people have said about the CEO, the product, the team, the management. If I saw a whole bunch of red flags, eh. Or if there were some which were like not too bad, it was just bitter people that just didn't like the company, I'd actually bring it up in a hiring interview and say to the manager or CEO, I saw a couple of comments on Glassdoor. Do you mind if I just raise them and just get your feedback on it? And it would be kind of like a litmus test to see were they aware of this or actually there is a problem, and I'd see how that person, because I'm like, if I'm going to give you 80% of my waking hours in a week, I need to make sure that I'm cool and I'm happy here, right? Cool. Love that. Thank you.